Welcome to the VIP Ignite Live podcast, brought to you by Alycia Kaback, author of Finding Fame, with our VIP industry experts, Carolyn Dixon and Kennedy Seibert. The VIP Ignite Live podcast, where we open the universe to models, actors, and musicians. It's not what you know, but who you know.
Hi guys, this is Carolyn Dixon, Vice President of Event Services here at VIP Ignite, and I'm here today again with our CEO and founder, Alycia Kaback.
What's
Hi.
up? Hi.
Oh my God, you sound so dead. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
We had a big open call webinar last night. We had talent on from all over the world, so it takes a lot out of you.
Oh yeah, I believe.
Yeah. A lot of questions, a lot of answers.
Are those fun? Do you enjoy doing them?
Yeah, you know what? It's weird because when we first opened 10 years ago, everybody would fly into our office and, you know, we'd have so many people complain that they had to pay for airfare and hotel and, you know, coming out here, you know, for callbacks. But now what's kind of cool is due to technology, we're able to do it. Literally, I could do my webinars now from anywhere in the world. And last night we had people on the line from...
And you have done them from all over.
Yeah,
I
have.
From like airports.
I've done them from wherever I need to do them, which is kind of cool. So now people can save money, time, and anguish from having to come out to one of the offices to come out and meet with us. So it's kind of cool. I had people on my call last night from Minnesota. I even had somebody on the line from Kuwait, which is kind of crazy.
That's cool.
Dangerous and crazy all at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're trying to get out.
Yeah. We've had people on the line from Poland. We've had people on the phone from Rome, even from like Wichita, Kansas. So it's kind of cool.
Fun.
Yeah, so that was fun.
And
so
you've been auditioning talent for like 10 years now, right?
Yeah, it's a long time.
10 years connecting people with top people in the industry, like making that difference. But I mean, obviously they have to get through you. They have to get through the gatekeeper or me or Debbie. I've been auditioning people for 2 years now. We kind of go through the same sort of process with everybody. I know it's a little different now that we get to see people online and talk to people from all over the world, but the questions we ask don't really change.
Yeah, I mean, people think that just because they're attractive that they're going to get in. And for us, it's kind of like a first date, you know, right away. I mean, even like our talent, even if they're on the interview with us, being that everybody goes through an online webinar, you know, everybody's on mute. We sometimes can get 300, 400 people from all over the world at the same time, and they always get so offended that everybody's on mute. Well, it's an open call. Like, you're listening, and then at the end they're able to fill out this thing called a talent roadmap, kind of telling us, like a doctor's office, you know, what are their ailments, what are they trying to fix, what are they trying to, you know, achieve, what's holding them back from success. You know, if they have any training or pictures, I don't really care. I'm looking for, and you could tell just even from their words whether or not you feel that they're going to be a good candidate. But of course, everybody's entitled to an interview. Sometimes our interviews last 2 hours. Sometimes they last 2 minutes.
Yeah. And
I would say I'm sad about that, but when you're in the business and your job is to pre-screen, like, you know, it's like a first date, you just know. And some people, again, are incredibly attractive and they have no personalities. Others feel entitled, which we spoke about the other day. Entitlement, dirty word.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like,
but regardless of training, like, you know,
these podcasts that we're doing, I mean, it's all like a progression. Like yesterday when we were talking about like what it takes to kind of get into this industry and like what the bad habits are that people, like the big mistakes that they make. This is now today. It's kind of like what are they going to ask? Say you don't make those mistakes and you get the chance to get in front of people and you get in front of the right person, like a big agency.
I don't know any other way to get into the industry. I mean, think about how many people go. You know, I deal with people that are graduates of Yale or Berkeley or Juilliard, and they spent $200,000 on their education.
Yeah. Then
you have somebody fresh off the boat, you know, or coming to LA or going to New York, and they think that they're going to be famous without investing time, resources. You know, they have no training at all, and they're literally throwing spaghetti up against the wall, and they don't understand that agencies, management companies, even with what we do as far as a networking company, like, just because you have money doesn't mean you're accepted. Like, we're not Apple. You know what I mean?
Otherwise, we'd be like, go online and buy a ticket to the networking conference. No, the only reason these events work, the only reason our guest speakers show up is because they know that everyone they're going to meet with has been pre-screened by us.
Yeah, pre-screened.
Exactly. Everyone's becomes like recommended by us because they went through the interview process. That's why it works this way. That's why people keep coming back, why we get guest speakers that want to come back, like
Yeah.
Michael Boudry. When can I do? When?
Sorry,
okay?
I'm just choking.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But Michael Boudry being like, when can I come back? When is the next, like,
And
I'll
love
keep coming back to every event you'll let me go.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, like, when you have somebody like Mike who casts for major music videos like The Weeknd and Suicide Squad and, you know, working with Bieber and, you know, top people, Rolling Stones, and he's like, I don't do these. Like, I do these because they're you. Not to sound, like, arrogant, but, like, he knows that, like, what we're doing as far as translucency, it's all about networking. It's about getting, like, if you're going to ask real questions, what better way to get the answers than somebody legitimate? What are you going to turn to, like, Google and read from people that are just trying to sell you crap? Like, learn from somebody actually doing.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, and that's why I enjoy what we do.
Yeah.
Because we're able to offer that.
And even the guest speakers know that the networking never ends. I mean, Michael Boudry was specifically hitting you up for a casting that he had for, you know, what was the casting for? Don't say like specifics.
It was a PSA for a commercial, and he had met a friend of mine from High School Musical at the event. Yeah, Monique Coleman. And he wanted other celebrities in LA, and you know, it's all who you know. I mean, so you know, when somebody on that type of level who works with like Kristen Stewart and Justin Bieber and all these amazing people in The Weeknd, when somebody like that reaches out going, hey, I know you know so many people, you know, this is kind of what I have in mind, you know, let me know.
Yeah, if
I'm like, holy crap, did he just email me at like 1 o'clock in the morning? And that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to PSAs. I mean, he did a PSA with Joss Whedon, and if you guys don't know who that is,
oh my God,
I mean,
that's your like goal.
Oh, stop. I love Joss Whedon. I mean, he directed the Avengers. That's like what he's doing like now. I mean, back in the day, it was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly, Angel. Oh my God, I grew up on those shows. Joss Whedon is like idol, top of the top kind of deal.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
He's pretty big.
He's pretty awesome. And the fact that Mike Boudry loves our events, and he takes time. Like, do you know the last event, he literally was casting nonstop, and he didn't just come out to the event and just sit there, you know, playing on his cell phone the whole time. He was so, like, attentive. He gave out his cell phone number, his email address, and then not only that, but the day before that for the Inner Circle, he literally did step-by-step what casting directors look for in agents.
Exactly.
And that's why I love this podcast today.
Exactly, yeah. And today, that's all we're going into, like, what it's like when you're being interviewed by an agent. And this is not even just an agent. Like, casting directors are the same way. What kind of questions do they ask? And there really are. There's 5 big questions. It's tell us about yourself. That's not a question, but that's what it is.
You can't be arrogant.
No, like, you really can't. You absolutely can't. It's.
I have a fan page. No. Like, oh my God, tell me about yourself. Like, literally, it should be like you're standing in front of a room and like describing you. Like, I don't think people can even describe themselves, which is why they turn off other people.
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself, Carolyn?
Oh, okay.
I feel like we should, like, get a bottle of wine and, like, describe yourself, Carolyn.
Yeah, no, I went to school for theater. I work here, obviously, which is great, Vice President of Event Services. I get to interview amazing people like Mark Christopher Lawrence. He was so much fun.
He's from the hit show Chuck, which I loved.
Yes, he's great. I got to help Alan Zweibel with his presentation, so that was
writer
amazing.
For Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes. And
These are all
writing
facts. It's not even like you're bragging. Like when people ask you what do you do, you're like, and people are complaining and moaning about their work. And I mean, I know that things get crazy here, but like I honestly sometimes don't even know what to tell people. When people say, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
I know that we have a mission statement.
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, and that's just like things I've done through you guys.
Because people are always intrigued.
That's just things I've done through you guys. I mean, I also, like, I produce a burlesque show in the city. It's actually, like, the top show in the city on Butte. Really great. If you guys are ever in the Philly area, I can hook you up with some tickets or something. You can come out and have a good time if you're into burlesque. I also work for the #1 dinner detective agency in the company, in the world. I can't even talk. Dinner detective agency in the U.S. They're like a murder mystery theater company. It's really, really fun. Called the Dinner Detective. They do really great shows. I also work for the Asian Arts Initiative in the city. You know, I kind of a master of many hats, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah. Plus the #1 thing I always talk to guest speakers about that they're always like, what? I'm certified in swordplay.
Of course you are. Oh my gosh, of course you are.
Best course at Temple, swordplay.
Swordplay.
Gosh, 8 a.m. let's get up and hit each other's swords. Anyway, so that would be like sort of a little bit of my tell you about yourself kind of section. But I mean, the things that blends into some of these other questions, which is like, what have you done? What are you working on now? What are your goals? And why did you want to get into this business? Those are all good questions. Those are all really important. And they're all what you're going to hear every time you walk into an audition, every time you walk into a casting. And I mean, that's it. These are the top 5. Did you ever see the
show Nip Tuck back in the day with the plastic surgeons?
No.
Every single time, 2 hot doctors.
Ooh, okay.
It was on FX. It was like one of the best shows on TV, but they're celebrity plastic surgeons, like extremely high end. And every single time they'd have new clients coming in, every episode would be, what don't you like about yourself? So I feel like even if you had new talent, like brand spanking new, I want to be an actor, I want to be a musician, I want to be a model, like you should know why you're trying to get into the business, not just I want to be famous and be a role model. If I get that one more time, I think people really love Tyra Banks. I mean, obviously everybody loved Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people really want to be spokespeople, but it's almost like being a motivational speaker, you have to earn that right. You can't just want to be a role model. Like you can go do, go work with your church, go work in a soup kitchen, go work with, domestic violence, abuse victims, whatever. But if you're really trying to be a role model in show business, like that doesn't even, I keep getting these roadmaps of people that have no experience, but they want to be role models. And I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
I don't understand.
And then, okay, so we went over like what the 5 questions are. We're going to just kind of dive into it in a little bit of detail. Obviously, we talked about tell us about yourself. That question is the most important because I know when you get asked that question, you can kind of feel like you're a deer in the headlights, put on the spot. Like Allie just put me on the spot. Thankfully, I had a couple things to talk about, because I know who I am and like what kind of background I have. But you really want to make sure you have that going in. I always tell people, think of like 5 interesting facts about yourself and have that walking in, because then you're not, caught unprepared, caught unawares of, what you want to do, like who you are, pretty much. This should be an easy question. Who are you? If you don't know who you are, you should not be going.
Who are any of us?
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh.
Who are you?
And it's funny. Some of these questions are really great. And we hear the guest speakers that come to our events talk about them all over and over and over again. What have you done? What have you done? Like, they want you to tell them about your experiences and not even just like list what you've done, but what level are you on? Are the jobs that you're telling them about, are they paid?
I like it when people ask you, what is your greatest achievement? And people talk about, like, I had one guy who said finding Jesus.
Oh.
And another one saying my children. Like, I think they're asking for, like.
I mean, my children is nice.
Nice.
Life experience is good. And, obviously Jesus, have faith, I guess. But that's really not what they're trying to get out of you there. They want to know they want to know what level you're on with your experience. Like, are you doing student productions or indie films, or are you working on major motion pictures? Like, and that goes into like, who are you working with? Who, like, these names, who are they? Do you have A-listers, B-listers, like people who know you? Are you working with those people, or are you working with?
I think a lot of people. Not to kind of change the subject, but to change the subject. I think a lot of people sharpen their crayons and they never really put them to paper. We have some talent that think that they're on the right path to success, and they're literally just doing student films and indie films and web series that nobody's ever going to see.
Well, that's only good if you're building that to something. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do that and that you shouldn't, get that experience, but you definitely need to put yourself out there more.
But nothing's going to change. If the people you're working with are struggling, which is why they're all doing indie films, like, they're good to build a reel, but that has to lead you to something bigger and better. You can't just think because you're busy that you're on the right path.
Yeah.
That's my
And that's another thing they want to know. They want to know what you're working on now. Is it the same stuff? Are you building up the ladder, kind of? They want to know if you're going out for a Broadway production, like, are you green? Is this the first time you're doing something? What does that resume look like? And are you staying active right now, or was your last show 10 years ago?
You know what? I find it funny because we had somebody that we were just discussing about in the office who's 37 years old. She's not a high fashion model by any means. And she wants to be a successful commercial print, like catalog model, but yet everything we've ever submitted her to, she turns it down, whether they're hair shows, even being in like an extra in a TV show. Like, dude, if you are 37 and you're not high fashion and you're not 5'10", size 0, and you're a normal everyday type of person, and yeah, you're cute, but you're not, oh my gosh, amazing looking, well then you should be doing TV, you should be doing hair shows, you should be doing anything you can to build up that resume, because at the end of the day, if you want to be a catalog model or a commercial print model, and like you've been trying to do this for 5 years and you have nothing on your resume, you're a fool for turning down life experiences. Sorry.
And I mean, that's
how to call that person out.
That's like a thing from our show yesterday with a bad attitude. That's one of the mistakes people make, having a bad attitude, thinking you're above something.
Yeah, who are you
when you're brand new to the industry?
Do you have any idea how many successful people in this world started off as an extra, non-union?
Yeah.
Like, you got to work your way up, dude.
I want to do a show on that. Maybe we'll do a show on that in a couple of days. I'll talk about like.
Why don't you get Jesse Hyman on, World's Greatest Extra?
I should.
And then he ended up doing that big
let us
Super
know.
Bowl commercial with Bar Raffaelli that was trending on the GoDaddy commercial. And then because of that, he got to host the red carpet on the Jay Leno show.
Yeah, I mean, you did a podcast interview with him before.
And he also came out to the event.
Yeah.
Jesse Hyman, World's Greatest Extra. And they're doing a huge documentary on it. And people, like, when they see him, they're like, oh my God.
I know him.
Yeah, that's that
He's
geek
been
from,
in everything.
Yeah.
That's that geek from
and
Glee.
He's not getting,
he's
not getting submitted because he's going to be the next, like, Ryan Gosling or, Vampire Diaries spinoff. He's not like a Paul Wesley or Ian, but he's recognizable. Sometimes, like, your quirks and things that, people may be like, oh my gosh, that kid's so weird. Yeah, he's so weird, which is why you remember him.
Yeah, it's a character.
Yeah, you have to find your niche, and I feel like so many people don't.
Yeah, guys, if you want us
to get your niche.
If you want us to get Jesse Hyman in, let's say for like a Facebook Live where we can see him and everything.
Right now.
Yeah, text him.
Let's text him.
Do you guys want to do that? Maybe we can get him in like next week or the week after
World's
or something.
Greatest Extra.
Depending on what his schedule is.
He's been in Spider-Man, Social Network, The OC, oh my gosh, Old School. He's been in everything. And this kid, like, literally just, he gets
you never would know.
He looks like the way he does.
I mean, he's so professional. And that, like, honestly, that goes back to yesterday with what you're doing wrong. He probably makes none of those mistakes. I'm sure he's very respectful.
Professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why he keeps booking work.
Yeah, of course. And that's why that you're never going to keep booking work if you have those habits, those bad habits. So another question that you're going to get asked is, what are your goals? What are your goals? That's something we ask all the time.
World domination.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? World domination. Sorry.
I like it when people have no experience and yet they want to win an Oscar. And it could happen. But if you keep turning down work, it's never going to happen.
And
wish upon a star and catch it. Okay, whatever.
Catch it in your pocket?
Yeah.
That thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are your goals? They really want to know, are you trying to be on Broadway? If you're
getting in a car, where are we going?
Exactly.
If you don't know the answer, it doesn't matter how good your headshots are. It doesn't matter if you have experience. You've got to have an end goal. Like, you got to work towards something.
Yeah, what's your direction? What's your path?
They don't know.
See it or don't you?
They don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know, I can't see anyone reaching that point where they get to sit in front of an agent and they don't know what they're doing.
Nope.
No way. There's no way
they wouldn't even get through our thing.
Exactly.
Well, they can go pay for Explore Talent. They'll take their credit card and put themselves up on a website, but they're never going to sit down with legitimate people on that type of level unless they have goals.
Of course. And then the other question I have on here is, like, why do you want to get into this business? What is it? What's your passion? What is it that makes you do this? And that's something our guest speakers hit on a lot. Really, I mean, the biggest one I can think of is Paul Fisher, agent for, Naomi Campbell. Can't get any bigger. Manager for Naomi Campbell. When you can't get any bigger when you're thinking about the modeling industry. He said before our event, like, what we were like, oh, well, what are you going to talk about today? We were interviewing him with a little tiny mini Facebook Live. You can check it out on the Facebook page. But he talked about, what I'm going to say today is, what's your why? Find your why. Why are you getting into this? Because listen, if you are not passionate about this, don't do it, because you're going to hear rejection over and over and over and over again, and it is not worth it. And if you're only looking, let's say, like, goal-wise, this harkens back to a goal. If you're only looking to make even $5,000 a week, to, $1,000 a week, he sets his goals high. His girls are making a lot of money. So say you're only looking to make $5,000 a week. Don't do it. That's not worth getting doors slammed in your face over and over and over and over and over again. You're going to be hurting yourself. That's not worth it. You have to be looking to make $100,000 a month. That has to be your goal. I mean, obviously, you're going to build up to that, and you have to know the steps to make it there, but you have to know that this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
No, totally.
And Paul Fisher's honestly like one of the most inspiring
He's so
people.
blunt.
If you ever, he is so blunt.
I thought I was blunt until I met Paul Fisher, but then, these are like, in order for like even a company like mine to work with Paul Fisher, being that he secured over $100 million in contracts with Chanel and Victoria's Secret and some of the Guess and, some of the biggest, think about like how I had to it sounds creepy when I say this, but sell myself on why Paul should even affiliate himself with our brand. What are my goals? Tell me about my background. And yeah, I have websites and,
Did he do like an interview to you?
Yeah, of course he did. Fun. Talk about stressful, Paul Fisher.
Of course. He wants to know he's associating himself with the right person.
Yeah, I sent him over my article where they mentioned me in Forbes and Huffington Post and Entrepreneur. It helped. But he still, at the end of the day, wanted to make sure I was a real person that, because one thing I don't think people understand is when you have somebody on an extremely high level, like Dan Loria, who's a friend of ours from Wonder Years, or, Sigourney Weaver, anybody that's ever, done anything, they want to make sure that you're legitimate yourself before they affiliate, because my brand is their brand.
Of course.
And vice versa.
Of course.
And that's something that we really have to protect ourselves with when you guys come on the webinars and you don't even know why you're trying to get into show business. Your parents don't want you to do it. Your husband, your wife, your priest. You got no finances to show up to set. And yet you're going to keep turning down work. And then like, you're just like rude. Like, Debbie was just doing an interview like 5 minutes ago with somebody that wanted to be an actor. And, she's like in her late 40s. And so Debbie asked her, do you even know what a monologue is? And she hung up. Like, if you're telling everybody you're trying to be a chef and somebody asks you, okay, great, which cooking method do you prefer, skillet or fryer? And somebody says, what? Like, how do you not know that answer?
Like, how do you make these sauces? And they're like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What is a bouillabaisse? What?
And it's okay to be new. It's totally okay to be new. But people are just silly.
No, and that's true. And honestly, like, we could not make this up. The fact that Debbie has somebody come in to do an audition and an interview to get involved and make it to that next step, to sit down with these people. It's insulting to the people that actually do get through. It's insulting to think that like I don't even know. It's why would you come to do an interview or an audition and not know what a monologue is? How does that even happen?
No idea.
You know what? I think for our next video tomorrow, our next podcast tomorrow, guys, what we're going to be talking about is what you need to have prepared for an audition. What do you need to prepare?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the top one is going to be having these questions and knowing the answers, and then we'll go on from
And
there.
you know what's funny? When Mike Boudry did the Inner Circle and he went from like walking into an audition. Did you know when you walk in, you're not supposed to say hello and shake everybody's hand?
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah. And so many people do that because they think, oh, it's like a car sale or, like you're a realtor. Like you don't walk in and you don't introduce yourself and shake their hands and make small talk. You go in, you state your name, and you start. Like that is it. Because if you had to shake hands with 1,000 people, especially like in New York City, ew.
Yeah, and that's called slating.
Ew. Yeah.
Like you go in, you slate, you say, Carolyn Dixon, oh my gosh, Blanche Dubois, Streetcar Named Desire. That's it. Like I'm going to be reading Blanche Dubois from Streetcar Named Desire, and that's it. You just go.
You just go.
You just go.
You just go. But I thought that was interesting.
Tennessee Williams. That play was so
good.
Okay, so I do have one bonus question on here, and that's what can you show me?
Do you have a portfolio? If I get one more Snapchat, I swear I'm going to scream. No puppy faces, no like fake flower crowns. I got more of those today.
You did more?
Yeah, it's not a portfolio, dude. Or like people in like their 20s sending me high school portraits. No.
And that's been 10 years. Get some stuff together. Okay, so that bonus question of what can you show me? They want to see that portfolio. They want to see like what you can do. They want to know what you have for your headshot, and do you have a resume? Do you have a reel put together? These are real things that you need to think about, that you need to have prepared.
Real things. Do you have a reel?
There's something that stuck with me that one acting teacher always said. He said that the casting directors, and I'm not trying to be insulting to Michael Boudry because I do think he's an exception, but he said casting directors really have no imagination, because they want to go in and see you in the role that they already have. And it's a little different depending on whether you're talking about New York or LA, but like LA especially, they want to see you, they want to look at your portfolio and see a look that looks exactly like the girl that they're casting. They don't want to see you submitting photos that make you look edgy for, the sweet, young, ingenue, like little girl.
And I think
role.
that's the problem. I think that so many people just want like sexy photos.
Yeah.
And then like, that's not what the casting directors want.
Exactly. If you're getting
like, we'll do photos here, and like we'll have a friend that will do makeup. He's the former art director of Vogue, and people were like, well, I don't really like my photos, but those are the photos that book you the most work because you look natural. Like when I personally do makeup, I'm always wearing lots of mascara, lots of eyeshadow. I usually like the darker lipsticks, but like even on my own website, the girl put so much makeup and like caked on concealer and did the contouring and the highlighting and all the shades of, I guess, like browns. I don't know, natural tones. But I had more makeup on than normal. But that's like they want to see natural. Yeah. So don't come in with like the cabaret Kim Kardashian eyelashes and the
contour
sexy
like crazy
lips and
yeah, that Kardashian contour
Kidnesh type. It's not going to be good.
No, it's not. And you have to have contrasting looks. You have to be able to show them exactly what they're looking for. Yep. You can't come into an audition looking like you just rolled out of bed if you're trying to represent if the casting is for, let's say, like a business professional, you don't want to walk in looking like you just rolled off your couch and you're wearing like a sweatshirt and sweatpants from 2 days ago.
Exactly.
It's gross. It's gross, number one.
That's what I'm wearing today.
That is not what you're wearing. I'll tell you that right now. That is not what she's wearing today.
I'm
wearing
totally
a cute
wearing
little black dress. Come on.
It's like summer here now.
It is.
It went from like winter here, like literally like a couple of weeks ago it was snoring. It was snowing in like New York City, and now it's like 80. It's crazy.
I can't wait, guys. Just so you know, my birthday's this weekend. I'm going to the Poconos. I'm going to go zip lining and rock climbing and fun things.
So at least you have a direction.
Oh, geez. I do. I have a direction. My direction is up the mountains. That's the direction.
And then down the zip line.
And then down the zip line, yeah.
You should do a Facebook Live while on a zip line. I would like to see that.
Well, we did the Facebook Live when I was doing the indoor skydiving. So
That's true.
I've already set myself up.
That's true.
My brand is changing. My online brand.
I'll never forget, like, we were at Universal Studios Hollywood. We had a big event just in, March? Like, just last month. And
last month.
You asked, do I want to go out to dinner? And I was so tired because we had the event that day. I'm like, no, I'm just going to order room service. And I really just wanted to, like, Netflix and just, like, stay in. Just chill. And I remember I'm looking at these pictures and videos of you on Facebook, and you're, like, literally, like, indoor skydiving.
I was, yeah. We went out to dinner. It was Mike and I and Ashley and then Megan Kane, one of our talent.
She's in her circle now.
Yeah, I know. I'm so proud of her. Congratulations,
She's
Megan.
been busy working.
She has. We're gonna have to get her on soon again. But we went out and we just saw this, and they were going up in the.
Was it Universal?
No, yeah, that was on City Walk, right outside of Universal. And it was so much fun. We just saw the skydiver instructor person going around. He was flipping, doing all these crazy flips and stunts and stuff. And I was like, oh, my God, I want to do that. That looks like so much fun.
Did you eat before or after?
After, thankfully.
That would have been a whole nother video.
Oh, geez, no. That would have been something that goes viral and ends up on YouTube. Girl throws up on herself with the anti-gravity stuff because they have those fans. That would have just gone everywhere. Gross.
That sounds so fun. I would like to do that.
It was really fun. And Megan Kane was a great person to go with because, I mean, Megan Kane, for those of you that don't know, we talk about her a little bit. It's been a while since we talked about Megan, but she's on a mission to Mars for real. Literally, she's on the waiting list for people to go to Mars, but she's on the short list for it. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's so cool to do that. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today, and we will see you tomorrow when we talk about how to prepare for your audition. See you next time. Bye.
You were listening to the VIP Ignite Live podcast with our VIP industry experts, Carolyn Dixon and Kennedy Seibert. The VIP Ignite Live podcast was brought to you by Alycia Kaback, author of Finding Fame. To learn more about becoming an actor, model, or musician with VIP Ignite Live, please visit VIPignitelive.com. VIP Ignite Live. It's not what you know, but who you know.